everyone. So today I am canning turkey broth. This is my turkey roaster, and I think it's like 22 quarts, maybe 18 quart. I am canning turkey bone broth and simmer for 3 days, and you can tell where I filled the water line up and it came way down. Plus I ate off of it with some soup and whatnot. I had some of the broth over the 3 days, and in the end I probably would have got a good 7-8 quarts, maybe 9. But I did use some. I did not add any water during the cooking process, and I did flavor it a little bit with a splash of some pepper and whatnot. But to make the turkey bone broth, excuse me, all you do is take your turkey bones and some water and some apple cider vinegar. I probably used in that turkey roaster maybe a 1/4 cup, if that, maybe 3 tablespoons worth, not quite a 1/4 cup, but you don't taste it, and it helps break down the collagen and whatnot. I could have strained it better, but I use it so fast that I'm not really worried about it. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to can it up. 5 quarts is all that's left. So what I'll do is I'll just take my paper towel, I take vinegar, and I wipe the edges to make sure it's nice and clean. Then I'll put lids on and the bands, and then put it into the pressure canner. Okay, so I just finished putting my jars inside my pressure canner. I do use a Presto pressure canner and a glass top range, and I've been using this combination for probably 10 years or so. I do want to go ahead and mention something. You may notice that I am using, or excuse me, reusing lids. I wouldn't recommend to anybody to do that. There are many of us that have been canning for a long time that assume the risk of reusing our bands because, or excuse me, our lids, because it saves a ton of money in the long run, especially if you're constantly canning. And you know, you kind of know what to look for on whether or not the lids are good. So I don't recommend that anyone do that, except for, you know, that's something I do for myself, and some other canners do it, and I keep a close eye on it. And my pantry gets rotated so fast. I have a 2-year, maybe a 3-year working pantry at most, but I keep a close eye on my stuff, and I only use it for items that move fast. My broth moves really fast. I go through my broth probably, I never have broth that's more than maybe a year old because I go through it so fast, and I keep a close eye on it. So anyway, yeah, I do reuse them 2-3 times. So, but I do not preach that. Just know that I do not preach that. When you're starting off, you shouldn't do it. You should just follow the rules exactly, you know. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on now. I've got my water in there and a tiny splash of vinegar to prevent the jars from clouding up, because they will cloud up. So if you have hard water, and Everybody likes their jars to be clear. So anyway, so I'm going to put the lid on it, and I think that quartz will end up processing for 25 minutes, but I'll double check it when after I put the lid on and all that jazz. Okay, so now my lid's on. I should mention that my stock was cooled down. It was lukewarm, and so I put lukewarm water in my pot. And yeah, you always want to match the water to the jar heat, otherwise you'll bust the jar. So if I was using really hot stock, I'd start with hot water in the canner. So, and same with cold. If it was cold, I'd do cold. So yeah. So I've put the lid on, and I've turned my temperature up to high, and we'll bring everything up to a high temperature. You know, we'll heat everything up together so everything's nice and happy. And yeah. Okay, so it's steaming a little bit, which means the water's boiling inside, but it's not at a full steam. What I'm waiting for is that little guy right there, that little guy to pop up before I start my timer when I let the canner vent, which means it's under a certain amount of pressure and it pushes this little guy up and it's evacuating all the air out of there to increase the temperature, and you want to do that for 10 minutes before you start your processing timer. So that's what we're waiting for. Well, looky here. This thing is now popped up. It's full steam. And we're going to set the timer on here for 10 minutes. Okay, so the timer's been 10 minutes, so I'm going to clear the timer, and I'm going to put this guy on, just like that. And then you can see the temperature start to rise, or excuse me, the pressure. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that pressure up to 10 pounds of pressure. And then I will start the processing time. Okay, we're now at 10 pounds of pressure. And I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes because we are doing quartz. And there we go. So here's the heat, and that goes 25 minutes. Let's cool the heat, and time to wait for it to depressurize all on its own, and it'll probably take about 15-20 minutes or so. Let's see. Does anybody use this stuff? I love it. They've been using it for probably a year now, maybe a little longer, and this is my favorite scent of the two that I have tried. I tried the lavender, but I'm not real crazy about it. But yeah, cleans really, really well, and I like the scent, so yeah. Okay, so I just heard this thing pop down or drop down. Zero pressure, so all I'm going to do at this point is remove this and then do this. That's all I'm going to do. And let it sit like that for 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to take the lid off now. It's very hot. It's probably like 10 minutes or something that I let it sit there. And there we are. And need these things. This is what I need. First quart, second quart, third quart, and fifth quart. So yeah, what's that worth? Most people just, I think, would end up throwing away the bones of a rotisserie chicken or turkey or whatever, but yeah, not me. I never buy broth because I make my own and I know exactly what's in it. So anyway, this will sit here for overnight. I won't touch it, and I'll double check to make sure that it seals, and then I'll remove the bands and wash the jars off, label them, and put it into my pantry. Thanks for watching.